So I'm Emily McCormick. I'm the founder of the Policy Project, which is, let's see, I think I actually have a slide for you on this. I do. We're just a 501c3 like so many of you, and our focus is really in making change through policy initiatives. We do this by always working with the Utah legislature, which is everyone's dream come true, am I right? The funnest group of people in Utah, and working with community, basically creating some movement around the change that we're trying to make, and bringing together private donors or philanthropists within our movements. So I am here today to talk to you about branding, and I am passionate about this topic. I actually came into the nonprofit space from the private market, where I did a lot with branding, and so I actually knew nothing about policy and nothing about nonprofits when I started this about 5 years ago, and really, so this kind of is what I'm actually okay at, is branding. So I'm excited that I never get asked to talk about this anymore, and so I'm excited to talk to you guys about this today. Okay, I meant to put in these 3 slides, and I totally forgot. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have everybody get really awkward at your table and close your eyes, and I'm going to make you center and I want you to create these 3 extremely quick images in your mind. Okay, so I want you to picture a person. Okay, this person is wearing oversized basketball shorts. Okay, they're whatever color you desire them to be. Okay, they've got a jersey on. They are not a professional basketball player. They're just a regular person, okay? They've got some high tops on, whatever super cool ones. My kids would definitely know what those were, and I don't. Okay, so that's person 1. Picture that person. Spend 2 seconds thinking about, what is this person like? What does this person do? Okay? Okay, now, new image. Second person. This person is wearing cowboy boots. They are wearing Wrangler brand jeans. They've got a belt on with a massive buckle. They have a button-up shirt that's plaid, a bolo tie, and a cowboy hat. Okay? I want you to picture what this person likes, maybe what you think they do. Just make some assumptions with me. Okay, and now a third person. This person is wearing Gucci, and they're not just wearing Gucci, they're owning Gucci. They have got everything colorful, everything crazy, an extreme statement outfit, okay? What is this person like? What does this person do? Okay, now you can open your eyes. I just want to know, did anyone make assumptions about what these people like? Yes. Did I say the gender of these people? No. Did I say how tall or short they were? Did I say how much money they had? Did I say, give you any other identifiers other than the clothes that this person is wearing? And did you make assumptions about this person? Yeah. So I love this because that's what branding does, right? No one knows how much money your organization has. No one knows really anything, but they're going to make assumptions about you based on just what they see. Just like we're making assumptions about each other based on what we see, right? And so this is, I want you to just humanize branding for a second. Basically, when you think of your branding, I know some of you are absolutely killing it and could teach me lessons on this in your area, but when you think about your branding, just know that is the first thing, usually the first thing that someone interacts with your nonprofit organization, right? And automatically, they're going to make assumptions about it. I can tell you, based on the name Utah Global Diplomacy, I make a lot of assumptions about this. The name they chose is part of their branding, right? What is the name of your organization, right? That says something very, very different to me than Swig, right? Swig drinks, right? There's a different feel to Utah Global Diplomacy. I'm thinking I better be buttoned up, and I probably shouldn't have worn jeans today, right? Because it sounds fancy. I think so. The name you choose matters, and the way that it's portrayed matters, right? Your branding, the font you use, the style you use, the colors you choose, all these things matter. Now, I realize most of us are probably set in what we've decided. Totally great. I'm going to take you through a few things that I think are kind of critical and have really helped us with our branding, like as we've kind of worked on our commitment to doing social good. Okay, so oh, shoot, I switched these up, but they're going to come in the wrong order. Okay, so one thing that we do is the Policy Project is the parent organization. Now, under this organization, that's the name of the nonprofit, we actually take different projects and we do them every year. So if someone were to say to us, tell me what you're about, weirdly, we, unlike some other organizations, our goal isn't just like, well, we're working on teen homelessness. It changes every year. Our goal is actually just to make society better, to like make life a little bit easier for everybody. And so we change projects every single year. Now, that gives us a really weird model where we have to be able to get people to buy in to what we're doing this year and understand that that is separate, that is attached to the policy project, but that it has its own identity. So this is out of order because I sent you guys the wrong slides, but one of the tools that we have used to make an impact is color. So again, when you see color, it makes a statement. The first year we worked on period poverty. That's literally like the lack of access to period products like tampons and pads. It's a big problem in the state of Utah, also internationally. And we decided, what's something that's going to make this stick? If we had chosen a color, there were a lot of colors for periods, right? I'm sure we can all think of some of them that might be appropriate, right? Decided to not go with dark maroon, thought that might be a little too graphic, but we wanted to make it fun and make a statement, right? And so we chose electric pink, right? This is the hottest pink you can find on the palette. These are the color numbers underneath. The next year we switched to a different project. We needed the legislature and the community to know that we're doing something different now. And so we wanted to model that. We were doing something around creating teen resource centers in high schools. And so basically putting showers and washers and dryers into high schools. For that, we wanted it to be soft and welcoming because we knew that we were dealing with such a vulnerable population. And so we settled on this light blue. This last year, we worked on child sexual abuse prevention curriculum, getting that into schools, and went with purple. So as you can see, what does that mean? Yes, we did our branding that way, but we also requested that every single person coming to, for us, a rally at a Capitol, any of our events, we do events statewide, any of our events, we say, wear this color. And automatically, it signals, hey, this is what we're talking about today. Because it would get highly confusing because we have so many projects for people. This gives just a visual signal. And when I think about audiences, this is a way that we kind of craft our social media. The second they see that color, they kind of know what we're talking about. This was meant to be the first slide, but consistent yet distinct branding. And so another thing that we've kind of committed to is we brand each of our projects, which is a little risky, but we like a little bit of excitement in our life, so we like to do this. So again, the policy project is our main brand, right? And as we looked at like what are we calling these? How are we branding these things that we do? We looked at a few options to keep it consistent and yet individualized. So we stacked logos, as you can see. We stacked logos and we standardized our naming. So everything has the and everything has project at the end, right? So every time we're working on a new initiative, we put it in that formula. The hope is it's, again, a little confusing where we're shifting things kind of often. And so the way we solve for that is give people some clues, like the project will always be a part of what we're doing. And so that kind of like signals to them. And then again, the distinct colors and fonts and icons. And so we've built that into what we do. Another thing that I wanted to talk about quickly is how important messaging is with your brand. So if you picture those same people that you had in your head before, I want you to picture the person who's in a jersey and big shorts, right? Picture that person for a second. Let's say that person, I imagine you probably pictured a body in that, right? And I don't know who you pictured, but let's pretend that person, the person wearing that is 4 feet tall, a female, just a tiny little woman wearing that. That might be different from what you initially pictured, I would imagine. So I think the way that we message things and tell our story really like builds out that person wearing the brand, if that makes sense. So, and if it doesn't, you can ask me a question about it later. Let me just check my time really fast. Okay, so I want you to think about how you say things, and the approach you use really, really does say something about you. So one way that we decided to always approach our own brand is to message things with statistics and stories. And so depending on what your line of work is and exactly what you're doing, this might be an impactful way to present information. So I can tell you that when we were building out around periods, we found, okay, what are the most salient statistics around this? What are really going to motivate people? What is our messaging around this? Well, in this case, it was, 8 in 10 girls have missed class because they didn't have a period product. 1 in 4 girls can't even afford them. And so we picked out 3 or 4 of our most salient things. Not too much information, but enough to create a storyline. We do this with every project. So we then went into teen centers, right? This was all about teens experiencing extreme need or who are homeless. And so we built out, 1 in 50 Utah students are experiencing homelessness right now. And you can see the way that we've kind of mirrored the colors through this and build out this these statistics using the same consistent font, making sure it matched the style of what we were doing then, that it would appeal to the audience that we had for that particular project. So building that out again, with child sexual abuse, 1 in 7 kids is sexually abused in the state of Utah, a lot higher than the national average. And that is clearly going to be a motivating statistic for people as we're talking about that. So consider like building this out and having this be part of your branding, if there's a way to do that. The thing that you want to marry that with, or that we found to be really impactful, is the storytelling. So it's one thing for me to say that 1 in 50 kids in the state of Utah is experiencing homelessness. It's totally different when I pair that with a true story of a kid who was living in Richfield, Utah. Is anyone from Richfield? No? Has anyone visited Richfield? Okay, we've got a couple hands. If you haven't, put it on your bucket list. We were in Richfield in January. We met with a superintendent of the school district there and a few principals. And they told us that just that week, a bus driver had come in and alerted them to the fact that one child they were picking up, he was living in a pile of stacked crates. So if you picture a crate, just the wooden slats, he'd stacked these crates together and had a little cardboard door on it. And that's where that child walked out, what he walked out from that morning to get on the bus to go to school. It was January. Richfield is not warm. It's freezing. The wind is, for some reason, blows like weirdly fast there. And so that's what that statistic looks like, right? It looks like a girl in Beaver who was eating cat food. It looks like a group of 4 students in St. George that was living on the stage, in their high school, and the principal, like, God bless him, did not kick them out. He didn't tell anyone. He just looked the other way and let them sleep on the stage. So I think when you're looking to make impact with your brand, you're also creating that messaging and via storytelling and kind of statistics. And when we work with, one of our main audiences is the legislature, as I mentioned, and when we work with the legislature, it's incredibly important for us to be able to kind of show, build out those stories and the breadth of the problem for them. And it's a very impactful way to do it, and has a lot of impact for nonprofits generally. The other thing that I would recommend that I think has been very impactful with our branding is just keeping your messaging positive. So we can go and just going on one of the projects that we've talked about. So let's say 1 in 4 teens, 1 in 4 girls can't afford period products. That is so crazy. That is so crazy. That is like, most of you are at a table of 4. One of you would not be able to afford this completely necessary thing that you need every single month, right? That's a crazy thing. The way that we did talk about this statistic, but the way that we framed it was via empowering people to do something about it. And I think that sometimes when we only talk about the bad or the problem we're trying to solve, like we're all in this room because we're trying to solve a problem, right? And sometimes when that's all we talk about, it's like the human brain cannot handle it. And if they don't know what to do, if they can't see a way to solve for it, they're less motivated to get involved, less motivated to give money, less motivated to come to your event, those kinds of things. And so what we do is we talk about the statistics, but our main messaging is always with a positive bend. Like, we can do something about this. So for the Period Project, for example, we said, join us in redefining the 21st century bathroom. So although the statistics were 1 in 4 girls can't afford these, and 80% of girls have missed class because of this, what we said was, hey, isn't it, when you think about a bathroom, we provide toilet paper, we provide hand soap, and we provide paper towels, right, or a dryer. We provide those things because we've just kind of generally agreed that everybody needs them, right? And so our messaging was, hey, don't you think we should just throw period products in there too? Because 50% of the population needs those, and they should be there, right? They can't function without those, so they should be there. So just taking taking the problem, but instead of making that your main tagline, having the tagline being something positive that's empowering, but also inviting people to join in this work. So empowering. So the next thing with teen centers, again, this is a hugely depressing issue. We're talking about kids who are eating cat food because their parents can't afford food for them. The way that we framed it was build teens, lift schools, change lives, right? So this kind of positive, like, they've got the action word in there. It's building, it's changing, it's creating. So really, really focusing on that like creation piece of this with that instead of the kind of the down and depressing things. And then the last thing with the Safe Child Project was we have the power to prevent child sexual abuse. This one was brutal. Obviously, no one likes to talk about this topic. I still hate talking about this topic, even now. It is so brutal. But what we found was one of the things that that was keeping this issue from being solved was that people believed that it couldn't change, that it was just something that happens because it kind of happens in private and secret. It's often in your own home. And some of these challenges seemed insurmountable. So instead, we teed it up as like, we actually have the power to change this, to stop this, to make this end. And so giving people, like framing that up for them and putting that idea in their mind has been extremely powerful. Okay, let's see. I think that's my last slide. Okay, I'm going to be on this panel. I think we'll have some fun questions. But if you have any questions or would like to chat, this is our information. And thank you.